In the spring of last year, we had a terrible tornado go through the city of Tallahassee. And I remember that morning, my wife, she said, Jack, you need to come and let's get in the hallway. And I didn't really know why, but she'd been monitoring the things on her cell phone. And so I went and got underneath the hallway, and all of a sudden we heard this terrible, terrible noise and commotion. And it didn't last very long, and then it was gone. We go outside, and we see where the storm had taken the top out of a tree, and it just dropped it right down on one of our automobiles. Well, you said, well, Pastor King, that's a bad thing to happen, but I wouldn't call that a crisis. And then, no, neither would I, because our lives were spared. And even though we lost a car, that's, that can be replaced. But there were others, a few, that did lose their lives during that storm. And for them, that was a terrible crisis. And this is what we've been talking about the last 5 weeks. It's our 6th week in this series of studies called Courage in Crisis, taken from the book of 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 6, where it says, "Then David encouraged himself in the Lord." In the midst of his crisis, when he comes back to the city that he was living in, along with his family and the soldiers who were under his command, they all lost not only the city and the possessions of the city, they lost their families. Their families were gone. There was nobody there. And I read the scripture on Monday where it says, and the men were talking about stoning David. And it became a full-blown crisis in his life. Now, you see, the thing is that God, in his grace and his mercy, prepared David for this moment. I believe this because we read about his struggles, and we've been talking about this for the last 5 weeks. The things that he had to endure in his having to run from Saul, and how that he was being accused falsely. And all of these things were happening, and even things that had happened in his younger life when he had to fight the lion and the bear, and he fought the giant. All of these things were building him up and preparing him for this moment in time. And the thing is that we do have struggles in life. And all of these things are character builders. And it teaches us to trust God in these circumstances. They're never things that we want to endure. We wish they wouldn't come into our lives. But the truth of the matter is that life is a battle day by day. And the scripture says that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers and rulers in high places. And there are spiritual things happening all around us. And we're fighting this battle against evil. But the thing is that all of this, we have the ability to prevail because of the God that we serve and where we put our trust. And that we know that every time that these type of things happen and we're able to stand strong in our faith, then we're a little stronger for the next encounter as we walk this walk and we live out our faith. This is Pastor Jack King with the gospel on the radio broadcast.